Today, I was not feeling like myself. And what do I do when I'm not feeling like myself? I take a long walk in nature. That's what I do whenever I'm not feeling like myself or whenever I have a problem. I take a long walk in nature. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I take a long walk in nature. I don't care what time it is. Could be 10 p.m. at night. I'll take a long walk in nature. Like if I'm dealing with a problem that seems to be a bit too much, I'll take a long walk in nature. That's when I'm able to think clearly. That's when I'm able to see everything for what it is. When I'm surrounded by other people, I'm unable to think clearly. It's like when I'm alone in nature, I'm able to tune into this frequency where I'll like be receiving insights. Especially when there's a problem that I'm dealing with. I'm able to come up with solutions when I'm alone in nature. I get easily distracted when I'm surrounded by people. To be honest with you all, I don't like being around other people. I genuinely don't like being around other people. I don't feel the way that I need to feel. If I'm going to be around people the whole day, I would need to take a long walk alone. If I go to a place where there's a lot of people, let's say that there's a funeral and there's a lot of people, even if I'm in a village that I don't really know, I will take a long walk in nature. You know, like I would need some time to myself to just think and process everything. When I'm surrounded by other people, I'm unable to do that. And when I do not do that, that thing looks like a snake, bro. I was like, dang, that's a long snake. Like if it was a snake, like it would like really be a long snake. It would be a cobra. Solitude is underrated. Now, people will ask you when you're alone, why you're alone. Is there something wrong? Like they don't know that some people really feel better when they're alone, and when they're with other people, they do not feel good. Is that a person screaming? That's scary. It's a person screaming. I think No, it's not a. That's weird. I mean, if it's a person screaming, they gotta say something. You don't just scream. You gotta say something. Like it sounds like a goat. If it's not a person, if it's not a person, it's a goat. And it's not how like, the people where I live scream. They'll be like, "Yo!" Like when they scream. It's I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's scary. And I don't mean I'm scared, but I mean like that. It's scary. Like I'm scared for whatever is screaming because I don't know if it's a human. I don't know what it is that's actually screaming. The world that we live in is toxic. People don't have anything to talk about. So they talk about other people. And they don't focus on good things. No, they don't focus on good things that, you know, people have done. They focus on negative things. They love to gossip. And that's draining. Like if you don't like to gossip, you'll feel drained. If you have to be with people who like to gossip, if you're going to be around people who like to talk bad about other people, they have nothing to talk about. They don't know what's going on in the world. They don't think that deeply about anything. They don't have insights about anything. So they just talk about other people, people that they do not even understand. They judge other people without really understanding them. What's crazy is that these people who like to gossip about everyone. It's not like there's specific people that they gossip about. They gossip about everyone. When they're with you, they'll gossip about this person. When they're with that person, they gossip about you. Like, what? The world is toxic. You are better off alone. People don't love one another. You know, you think that people love one another. People do not love one another. It's just that we are social creatures. And some people are so used to being around other people that, well, they want to be around other people. Whether they like these people or not, they don't want to be alone. They're scared to be alone. But they have nothing to talk about with these people. So they gossip. They talk about other people. They talk about bad things that have happened to other people. And you could see that they're actually happy that these bad things have happened to these people. This is the kind of world that we live in. People pretend. And I'm not exaggerating when I say people pretend. Like almost every person that you know pretend, all right? Almost every person that you know gossips. Almost every person that you know is happy when things are not going well in your life. I do not know why, but that's how people are. People are jealous. They don't want other people to do better than them. So if you are a very conscious person, you'll be confused when you are around these people. You won't understand why they gossip about other people. Because, well, you don't like to gossip about other people. I don't gossip about other people. I hate gossiping about other people. I don't even want to know what's going on in other people's lives. People just tell me what's going on in their lives. I don't ask. Unless a person tells me that something is bothering them, that's when I'm going to ask, hey, what's bothering you? Because I'll be trying to help them. But I'm not going to be asking people personal questions. Because I know that we live in a world where people gossip, and I don't want them to think I'm one of those people. Like I'm asking them personal questions so that I will talk about them with other people. Yeah. But the truth is, you're better off alone. This world that we're living in is toxic. It's better to just be by yourself. It's better to get used to being by yourself. Like you get so used to being by yourself that you don't need other people. But if you've never really been by yourself, you think, I can't really be by myself all the time. I'm going to miss being around other people. I'm going to miss having friends. I'm going to miss being in a relationship. But if you feel like the people who you live with are not good people, they're not honest people, you feel like you don't really connect with them, then you're better off alone. If you feel like the relationship that you are in isn't really working, you're better off alone. You shouldn't be afraid to be alone. After some time, you might actually start liking being alone. That's when you actually get to learn more about yourself. Like when you're alone, you learn more about yourself than when you are with other people. Because when you are with other people, you are trying to fit in. Because we are social creatures, we don't want to do things that are going to make other people judge us, right? We don't want to do things that are going to make other people feel like there is something wrong with us. So we do our best to fit in. We do our best to be normal. And because of that, we never really grow. We never become more of what we are. We never really discover ourselves because we are too busy trying to fit in. And fitting in can make you dumb because you would have to neglect aspects of yourselves that are unique, that are actually good, and that if you focus on these aspects, you'd actually become a better person. See, the aspects of yourself that are actually unique, these are the aspects of yourself that you should embrace. But if you constantly trying to fit in, you're going to neglect this aspect of yourself. These are the aspects of yourself that are actually going to help you in the future. These are the aspects of yourself that are going to give you superpowers in the future. But if you're like, hey, I can't be different, I just gotta be like everyone else, you want to neglect this aspect of yourself because people will judge you. because they won't really understand why you are the way that you are, because they've never seen a person like you before. So they're definitely going to judge you, and you don't like being judged, so you are going to pretend as if you are like everyone else. That is why you must not be afraid to be alone. When you are alone, you are able to learn more about yourself. You are able to understand things better. You are able to understand life better. You are able to see society for what it is. You are able to see life for what it is. See, when you are trying to fit in, you don't even see how toxic society is, because you're trying to fit in. When people are doing things that are not healthy, things that don't make sense, you don't see that these things that these people are doing and do not make sense, because, well, you are trying to fit in. So you're like, hey, I gotta do what these people are doing because, well, that's what seemed to be working. You're like, well, when I'm with other people, I must talk about other people because, well, they seem to like hearing about other people. So I must just talk about other people. When I'm with other people, I must always be making jokes, That's what they like. They like to hear from other people. They want to hear jokes, so I gotta keep on making jokes. When I'm with other people, I gotta lie. They seem to respond better to lies. But what you notice is that you never feel like you can be yourself. You never feel like you can be yourself around other people. And that's because to be part of this society, you must reject a lot of things about yourself. Like, to be part of this society, you must reject a lot of things about yourself. It's like if you wanted to be part of a cult, they will tell you that there are some things that you shouldn't do, and there are some things that you should do in order to fit in. That's kind of like how it is, trying to fit in society. There are a lot of things about yourself that society is not going to accept. That's what you must understand. There are a lot of things about yourself that society isn't going to accept. So you're going to have to change in order to fit in order to be accepted, in order to be loved. Does that sound good to you? You're not going to be loved for who you are. The reason why some people who are alone, might feel like, hey, maybe I need to have friends, is because they think that people are going to accept them as they are and they'll just fit in, as they are. They don't know that they'll have to reject a lot of aspects of themselves in order to fit in order to be truly accepted. So they will feel incomplete. They're not going to feel whole. The society that we live in is flawed. We don't live in a perfect society. We live in a society where people have been trained to do things that will benefit those who are above them. We live in a society where people have been trained to please their masters. Notice that the things that people do don't really benefit them. No, their masters do reward them, but they're the ones who actually benefit from what they do, and then they decide to reward them. And when you wake up in the morning and you go to work, you don't really benefit. The company is benefiting, the boss is benefiting, right? But then, of course, you've got to get something. Otherwise, you're going to quit. So your boss has to give you something. We live in a society where people are not doing things that are meaningful to them. So to become part of that society, you'd have to reject many aspects of yourself, because you can't really be accepted as you are, because this society is not made for its own sake. That's what you must understand. This cult is not made for its own sake. Any cult is not really made for its own sake. It's to benefit the cult leader. So that's why something feels off in this world. Something feels off because we are not doing things that benefit us. So really, why do you want to be part of this society? When you are alone, you are able to think more clearly. You are able to see things as they really are. You are able to see the mistakes that other people are making. So you'll be able to do things that actually make sense. I've noticed that as I was getting used to being by myself, I was also noticing a lot of things that are wrong with our society. I was able to say that, oh yeah, this is what's causing this problem. This is what we got to do to solve this problem. I was able to ask myself a lot of questions that I've never asked myself before. I was able to ask myself, wait. Why do I gotta have children again? No, seriously, why do I gotta have children again? I mean, I've always thought that I must have children, but why? Why did I feel like I must have children? You start to ask yourself questions that people do not ask themselves. Questions that are really important. Questions that each and every person should be asking themselves. You start to understand that no, actually, society is a cult. People are not asking questions. They're just doing what the cult leaders are telling them to do. That is why society doesn't make sense. It's because we're not doing what we're doing for ourselves. We're not doing the things that we're doing for our own benefit. We're actually doing the things that we're doing to benefit the cult leaders. We're not able to do things to benefit ourselves. We have been programmed that way. Since we're little, we have been programmed to do things that the cult leaders want us to do. We have been programmed to listen to those who are above us, to obey those who are above us. To not ask questions. Unless they say we must ask questions. But we must ask the questions that they want us to ask. That's why students cannot just ask any question. They must ask questions that their teachers want them to ask. Like, hey, now it's time for you guys to ask questions. You can ask any question. And then you ask a question that they don't want you to ask. Be like, no. This society is flawed. That's why being alone is better. That's why solitude is better. So I'm telling you guys that solitude is underrated. This society that we are part of, that we're being forced to be a part of, is overrated. People do not feel right, and they don't even know why they're not feeling right. They don't know that there's something wrong with society. Learn to be alone. You'll be fine. For some people, tell me that they wish that they had a lot of friends because they are tired of being alone. So they wish that they had lots of friends. The problem with life is that because it's unfulfilling, we think that if things were different, we would feel better. We start to think about the things that we do not have because we're not feeling the way that we want to feel. So if you don't have a job, you tell yourself that if I had a job, I would be feeling better. If you don't have friends, you tell yourself that, well, if I had friends, I'll be feeling better. If you are not in a relationship, you tell yourself that if I was in a relationship, I'll be feeling better. If you can get used to being alone, not talking to anyone, I'm not saying you mustn't greet people. I mean, not seeking validation from anyone. Like, I gotta talk to this person. If I don't talk to this person, I'm not going to be okay. If I don't call this person, I'm not going to be okay. If I don't see this person, I'm not going to be okay. Learn to be alone and to not need anyone. Because the truth is, you are alone. It's not like you're not alone. You are actually alone. You just want to distract yourself. You want other people to make you forget that you are actually alone, so that you don't get used to being by yourself, to being alone. So you keep distracting yourself. You keep on trying to do something. You don't know how to just be by yourself and do nothing but just think. The best way to view life is to view life the same way that you look at your dreams. In your dreams, you are the only conscious person, right? After you've woken up from your dream, you realize that you were the only conscious person in that dream. But you've had dreams where you felt lonely, where you felt like you must be with other people. But there was no other in your dream. It was just you. What does that tell you? That tells you that you are actually alone. The people that you interact with in your dreams are just your projection. It's like you're so scared to be alone that you've created NPCs. Like, I don't want to be alone, so I must just create NPCs. So I must populate my dream with NPCs, and I mustn't know that they're just NPCs. I must think they're real. But I think that's the fear of being alone, right? Like it's like you don't want to be alone, so you try your best to convince yourself that you're not. So even in this reality, you must look at things that way, because you cannot even experience what other people are experiencing. So really, you are alone in your own head. So do not seek validation from other people. The problem with seeking validation from other people is that you are giving them power, the same way that you give dream characters power. The only reason why you get hurt in your dreams is because you have given the dream characters power. Right? You get hurt in your dreams because you have given the dream characters power. You're like, yeah, what you say matters. So if you tell me to go F myself, I must be angry. If you tell me that I'm not good enough, I must feel like I'm not good enough. You have given your power away. That is the problem. That's a huge problem. So even in this dream, and this illusion, and this simulation, whatever you want to call it, you have been giving your power away. So you seek outside validation because you have given your power to other people. But if you didn't give your power to other people, You wouldn't seek validation from other people because you have not given them power. Why would you need their validation if you have not given them power? Their opinions do not matter, so why do you want their validation? It's time to realize that you are alone. And if you really, really want to be yourself, if you really, really want to be authentic, learn to be alone. Stop lying to yourself. In order to fit in. Stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to make other people perceive you a certain way. Be real and let them perceive you the way that they perceive you. Let them see you the way that they see you. Let them remember you the way that they want to remember you. But you shouldn't worry about what they think, and you shouldn't need validation from others. You must be yourself. Learn to be yourself. Learn to give yourself validation. Try to understand yourself. It will get to a point where you don't need other people. It will get to a point where the things that other people are saying really do not affect you. And when you reach that point where you are no longer affected by what other people are saying, hey, you have won. That's you winning. Hell is other people. If you are listening to what other people are saying and you are hurt by what they are saying, that's hell. If you go online and you come across a post of someone saying some ignorant shit and you are hurt, that is hell. Hell is other people. 99% of the problems that you have are actually caused by the fact that you have given other people power. The other problems that you have are the problems that come with life, but really 99% of the problems that you have are caused by the fact that you have given other people power. You're like, well, the world should be like this and that, people should be like this and that. When you realize that people are not the way that you want them to be, they don't make sense, they are behaving very strangely, you're angry, you are hurt, you're like, oh no, they shouldn't be like that. Well, you can't control other people. You can't control these NPCs. The same way that you're unable to control the characters in your dreams. You can't control them. So what do? If you are in a dream that doesn't make any sense, you take your power back. You stop giving your power away because you're going to constantly get hurt. You see, once you decide, okay, you know what, now I've healed, now I'm cool, I'm okay now, let me give my power away, boom, you get hurt. Because, well, that's how people are. They hurt other people. This is the world that we live in. You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. So why don't you control yourself? There isn't anything that you're really missing out on. Like, you're not really missing out on anything by being alone. In fact, when you're not by yourself most of the time, you're actually missing out on a lot. Right? You're missing out on a lot of things, because when you're alone, that's when you truly gain like real wisdom. That's when you think the way that you need to think, and that's when you learn how to see things as they are. But when you are with other people, you only learn how to fit in. But you're learning how to fit in a broken society. You're not learning how to fit in a perfect society, in a society where people are doing things that can actually help you grow. No. You are actually living in a society that can actually break you, that can actually make you dumb. It's like trying to like join a religious cult that makes people stupid. So you were better off without that cult, but then you decided to join it and you become stupid. Have you not noticed that most people who are okay being by themselves are very, very intelligent? When you communicate with them, you can see that you're communicating with a person. You're not communicating with an NPC. Like, you can see that you're communicating with an actual person. Most of the people that I know who like being by themselves are highly intelligent people. There's a lot that I can learn from these people. And most people that I know who cannot be by themselves, they don't have their own opinions, they don't think that deeply. They're just what society wants them to be. When you ask them what they think about something, they can't really tell you what they think. They'll tell you what society thinks. You need to unprogram your mind. True wisdom is within. The truth is within, actually. That's why I keep on telling y'all that no one can really tell you what the truth is. No one can even show you what the truth is. It's like you need to be by yourself, and things will start to make sense. And you won't really be able to explain to other people what you understand. It's like you just have to see the truth for yourself, and you just know that, okay, this is really the truth. This is really what's making sense. But if you distract yourself a lot, you're never going to learn. I remember when I was younger, going to school, I wasn't learning anything. I mean, I would have time to myself, and I'll think sometimes. At least that will, like, me having some time to myself will actually help me think the way that I needed to think. But really, I wasn't learning anything when at school. What do you learn? What do you learn when you're surrounded by other people who won't really accept you for who you are, who won't really understand you, who want you to be what the people who are controlling them want you to be? I think that's why when I'm surrounded by people, I often zone out. Like I'm addicted to thinking. There's a lot of benefits to being by yourself. There's lots of benefits to being alone and being okay with being alone, not just being alone. Because some people will be alone, but they're not going to be feeling the way that they need to feel when they're alone. They feel like they should be with other people. They must force connections. Because they believe that that's what is actually natural. Yes, we're social creatures, but some of y'all are so unique that you cannot really fit into this society that has been created to work against itself. You are too rational to be able to fit in a society that was made to work against itself. You don't know what you need to sacrifice to be accepted by this society. You just think you just need to be yourself. You just think that other people are accepted for being themselves. Nope. No one is accepted for being themselves in this society that we live in. People are taught how to be. We've been programmed since we were young to be a certain way. And the ones who are able to act the way that they have been taught to act, these are the people who end up succeeding. These are the people who end up being successful. Like, they train you to act a certain way, and if you master your training, then they start to reward you. Like, yeah, this person is well trained, so we must reward them, and so that they will train others like him, others like them, others like her, to become what they want them to become. You see? That is what's going on in this matrix that we live in. And like I've been telling y'all that, you need to be working on escaping, and you're not going to escape if you're still seeking for validation. You're not escaping because you still want approval from other people. You still want other people to tell you that, yeah, you're on the right path. You still want other people to tell you that, oh, that is what's that's actually good. If you're doing something that actually helps you, to be like, that's insane. You should do this instead of doing that, because you want validation. You'll start doing what everyone else is saying that you must do, even if the things that they're saying you must do not make any sense. It's the people who don't care what other people think who will actually be able to free themselves, because they will do what they need to do regardless of what other people are saying, regardless of how other people are acting. It won't really matter to them that they are being judged. It needs to get to a point where when you do things, you don't first think of what other people are going to say. You just do what you want to do and let people say what they want to say, and do not give your power to these people. Like, that is super important. Meaning that no matter whatever you do, know that there will be people who are not going to agree with you. There will be a lot of people who are going to think that you are sick for doing the things that you do, or you are insane for doing the things that you do, you are dumb for doing the things that you do, you are a bad person for doing the things that you do. It's fine. Expect that and focus on what you think. That's what really matters in the end. It's what you actually think. It is possible for a person to criticize you and say something that is actually valid, but that's the thing. They have to say something that is valid. If someone says something that is valid, it's not, and it's true, and you can see that it's true. It's not you giving your power to them. It's you being loyal to yourself. It's you actually deciding what makes sense and what doesn't. So you have to reach a point where what really matters is what you think. So if a person says something that makes more sense than what you think, because you already realize that what they're saying makes sense more than you think, then that's what really makes sense. But it's not you giving your power away. It's you actually trusting your own judgment, which is really important. Trust your judgment. But you can, only be able to trust your judgment when you take your power back, when you stop giving your power away. Thank you all, guys.